My name is Eric Lindstrom. I'm the creative director for Tomb Raider Underworld. In this adventure, Lara Croft finds out that the myths of the Norse, of Thor and Odin and Thor's hammer in particular, are based on fact, and she goes and searches for all of the items needed to be able to pick up Thor's hammer. This is the first time that we've made a Tomb Raider adventure purely for current generation platforms, and that gave us the ability to go big on a lot of aspects of the gameplay and the experience of discovering new ruins. So she gets to go to a lot of places and explore bigger and more interconnected areas than ever before. So what she does in this game is she finds that this myth of Norse artifacts is actually based on a very ancient set of architectural ruins which are scattered all over the world. So even though she goes to Mexico and sees Mayans, and she goes into Thailand and sees Hindu ruins, these are all paving over much more ancient spaces far below that informed the Norse mythology. So what we're showing today is a number of ruins that she visits relatively early in the game. She goes to the Mediterranean Sea, she goes to Thailand, and she also goes to Mexico. The puzzles this time around have gotten much more elaborate, both broad and deep, and we did that for a couple of reasons. One, facing challenges and mastering her environment has always been an important part of Lara Croft's adventures, but also with the current gen platforms we have the ability to make much bigger interconnected spaces, much more reactive spaces, more physics, more interrelationships. And we also came up with a system of player tailoring, which includes field assistance, where the player can ask Lara for hints and answers to the kinds of puzzles that they're struggling with. So for players that maybe want a little less puzzle and a little more action, they can get help from her. And for people that are dealing with the puzzles and just get stuck and don't want to go to the internet to get a whole bunch of spoilers, they can ask for help as well. And both of these things gave us the ability to make puzzles much bigger, much deeper, and more challenging than ever before. So this time she does run up against some humans, but very few. For the most part, she finds all the denizens out there that are appropriate or unexpected for the space. So we actually have three classes of enemies, which is pretty traditional for Tomb Raider. There's the natural predators that you would expect to find, the kinds of things you would see in a zoo. Then there's the cryptids, we call them, which are the lost animals, the ancient reptiles, the mythological creatures that turn out to be based on some kind of actual biological creature, the stuff that you find in the tabloids. Then there's the other guardians, which we don't actually have a name for. They're like supernaturals, but they're not magically inspired. They're generally based on whatever the artifact powers are in play with whatever her goals are. And those things tend to be deeper in the ruins, darker, and much harder to explain. This time around, we threw out the camera entirely and made a new camera from scratch. And our goals with the camera were to, first and foremost, show the player all of the different navigation possibilities that were available around them. Because for the most part, you don't jump to a piece of architecture and then have only one place to go to next, so the camera points at that. There are often choices of where you can go, right, left, up, down. So the camera finds a position to be able to show the player what their navigational possibilities are. Then, of all the different ways that you can show that, the camera picks the more dramatic ones. So we emphasize a lot of the verticality, the heights that you're attaining, and the different places that you can go. Show some stuff in the distant foreground of secret caves that you can find and whatnot. But at any time, the player can hijack the camera with their right stick, and they can orbit around and look at whatever they want. So Tomb Raider Underworld is coming out for the PS3, Xbox 360, PC, DS, Wii, and PS2, and it'll be coming out November 18th.